order of the Wellington Village Council for Tuesday, June 12th, 2018. If you could please stand with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then remain standing, and Pastor Geraldo Vieira of Pentecostals of the Palm Beaches will do our invocation. So, I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please remain standing.
Good evening, everyone. We will bow your head as I pray. Dear wise and loving Heavenly Father, on behalf of all who are gathered here today, thank you. Thank you for your many abundant blessings. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the health we need to fulfill our mission, for your provisions and for friendship. Thank you for security and freedom that we enjoy here in the village of Wellington. Thank you for loving us and protecting our country, our state, and our village. In the Holy Scriptures, you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities because you, O God, have established those very authorities to promote peace, order, and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials present here today, and in particular for this assembled council. I'm asking you that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid many conflicting interests and different issues and perspectives. Give them a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people. Give them a deep desire for justice and righteousness. Give them the ability to work together in harmony, even when there are honest disagreements. Give them personal peace in their lives and joy as they work on the benefit of others. Also bless our village partners and stakeholders. I pray that we all can make wise and godly decisions which are always in the best interest of our children, our families, and our community. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Schofield.
That will bring us to the adoption of the agenda, and staff is recommending that we add under presentations and proclamations a proclamation for the Relay of Life, presentation by the Relay of Life. With that, staff recommends approval of the agenda as amended.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, and that brings us to
The first item under presentations and proclamations, and I have to get, because we've slightly amended it, is a proclamation of the Village Council of Wellington, Florida, recognizing Zach Beatty, Wyatt Boswell, and Michael Garofolo on their admittance to the United States Air Force Academy, and Nicole Wantlin on her admission to the United States Military Academy at West Point. So, I think I've seen most of them.
Are we going to have Rachel read the proclamation?
We are, and you have photo opportunity.
Okay, so first, if you read the whole proclamation, which gives us a lot of information about these great kids.
Whereas Wellington graduates Zach Beatty, Wyatt Boswell, and Michael Garofalo were nominated into the U.S. Air Force Academy, and Nicole Wantlin was nominated into the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. After going through an extensive application process and fitness assessment, were admitted into these very prestigious academies. And whereas Zach Beatty just graduated from Wellington High School and is a lifeguard at the Wellington Aquatics Complex. He hopes to be in the Air Force for at least 30 to 40 years and become involved in politics after, hopefully making the rank of a 4-star general. And whereas Wyatt Boswell just graduated from Wellington High School and has his eye on the swim team at the academy. His goal is to become a pilot and to eventually make the rank of general. And whereas Michael Garofalo attended Palm Beach Central High School and plans to play football at the academy. He plans to major in business and work on acquisitions for the business side of the Air Force. Whereas Nicole Wantland, recently graduated from Wellington High School, looks forward to competing with the U.S. Army as a member of their women's rugby team. She will also be pursuing a degree in either civil or mechanical engineering and hopes to eventually become a pilot. Now, therefore, the Village Council of Wellington, Florida, hereby recognizes Zach Beatty, Wyatt Boswell, Michael Garofalo, and Nicole Wantland for their hard work and dedication, and congratulates them on their admission into the U.S. Air Force Academy and the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Wellington, Florida, to be affixed this 12th day of June, 2018.
An impressive group of kids for one community to have graduating in one class. I don't know what we put in the drinking water that year that all these kids were born, but it's working out pretty well. So if each of you could come up, I'd like to hear from you. I guess we'll call you one by one. Zach, your name alphabetically came up first. If you have anything you'd like to say to us.
Just thank you to all of you. I've worked for the Village of Wellington for 3 years, and I know most of you personally, and it's been an honor knowing you all. I don't know.
You're making us
I want to
quite
talk
proud.
up Zach. I've had a lot of amazing moments on this council over the course of the last 2 years, but today is definitely at the top of that list. I grew up with Zach's mother. We were dear friends for, 30 years, Jen? Right? I mean, how surreal is this? In 12th grade journalism class, did you ever think there'd be a day where I'd be sitting here and you'd be sitting there and we'd be talking about your son going to the U.S. Air Force Academy? I mean, what an amazing accomplishment. I got a chance to meet Zach while I was campaigning, and he showed an early interest in politics then. He came and asked me a lot of really good questions, and I immediately targeted him and said, this is a guy that's got a bright future, without even knowing who he was or what path he was on. So I'm not...
That you might know his grandfather also?
Of course. Of course. His grandfather's an icon in Wellington. But Zach, in all seriousness, I'm super proud of you, and you're about as sure of a bet as there is. I can't wait, and these aren't just words, I mean this. I can't wait to see what you accomplish, because you really are the pride and joy of Wellington, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to...
That's hard to top.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, guys.
But again, I mean, we are very by all of you. We're really impressed by what you've done and what you've accomplished, and especially with the Air Force Academy. Little known fact, I applied to but did not get into the Air Force Academy. So I'm slightly jealous of you all that are getting in, because my life would have been different. It's okay where it came out, but I would have been in a totally different place now. So really, congratulations to all of you, what you've accomplished. It's really impressive. It took a lot of hard work to get there. So best of luck to your future.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. If you could stay in the front row, because we're going to want to do pictures and hand you a copy of this. But if Wyatt Boswell is here, if you could come up, please.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank the council for having me here, as well as my parents. And I'd also like to congratulate my fellow classmates for getting into the academy as we continue our endeavors. And Nicole for going to West Point. Took a lot of hard work, so congratulations to all of them.
Thank you. And you're one of our swimmers.
Yes, ma'am.
So that pool over there has really done its job for this community.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and are you going to swim there? I'm sorry, did it say that? Are you going to swim on the swim team? You are, okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a
Great.
recruited athlete. I'm going to be swimming for the United States Air Force Academy.
Great, that's awesome.
What are your goals? What do you hope to eventually accomplish? Was it in our proclamation?
It was. He wants to be a pilot. Pilot. They all want to be.
Yes,
a
ma'am.
pilot.
I want to be a fighter pilot and eventually go to test pilot school and try and become an astronaut in the process too. I recently thought of that idea, so.
Okay.
That's awesome. We're very impressed, and it's a lot of work. Your family, we're just sitting here taking credit like we did something, but there's been a whole lot of work going into you guys, and not just your mom and dad, but the community of your school, the community of this community. So we're just very proud. Do you have something
Individual on this topic
Yes.
to say? Well, let me say this. If you are very serious about that astronaut thing, I know someone who you might want to meet and talk about it. We can talk about that after the meeting. But seriously, I don't have an individual story like either my fellow councilman, but the fact is that what I do know is a lot about this process. And my wife, in her capacity as the state director for the senator, spends a lot of time on the application and interview process for getting into a service academy. And what I want to say is that this is an amazing accomplishment for each of the four of you, for your families, your parents, your siblings, your grandparents. It goes back to all of your teachers, your principals, because it is a very rigorous process. It is more than just being well-rounded and academically talented and outgoing and well-spoken. They really try to assess to your core that you are going to be the person that represents your community, your state, and ultimately our nation at the highest level of service. And I think that to have four of you in 1 year from our two high schools is an amazing accomplishment and something that you all should be really exceptionally proud of. And we're very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Michael Garofalo, did I say it right? Michael Garofalo, if you could come up. You don't have to have prepared comments, but we just want to see each of you individually.
Well, they've had time to warm up now, so
Yes.
our expectations are higher.
Good afternoon. I just want to say thank you guys all for having me here today. It's an honor to be here, and congratulations to my classmates for going to the Air Force Academy in West Point. Football player, I already have my rivalry. Wyatt and I went to the prep school, so we've been there for a year already. Kind of got our feet under the ground. Just want to say thank you guys for having me.
And you're a football player.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your position?
Offensive line.
Okay. All right.
Tell us about that for just a second. When you guys said that you went to the prep school, what did that involve?
So it's a 10-month program. It's up at the Air Force Academy. It's on the base. So it's just 10 months. You go through half the time. So it's an 18-day basic training. And then you go through basically your first semester at the Air Force Academy in academics. And you still have to pass all the requirements for the physical fitness tests and all that. And you're basically competing with, I don't know if the word competing, but you're competing against yourself, I guess, for an appointment to the academy.
So you did that while you were in your senior year of high school here?
No, ma'am. Wyatt and I graduated 2017.
Okay.
And we went from the prep school from there. So we'll have a 5-year journey into graduating from the academy.
Very good. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for telling us all that. We appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
So, in the offensive line, that's who you want to have you in front of you.
Absolutely.
And Nicole, if you could come up. She had to outdo the boys by getting accepted into West Point, right? We only have one girl, but we got a good one here.
I just wanted to say thank you to my parents and my sisters because they raised me to be good and also be very competitive. And I also want to thank you guys for, I moved here about 2 years ago, and I've played in the Wellington Wizards rugby team, and I've already seen how involved you guys all are. And because of your support of the rugby team, a lot of the girls are considering to go, but they're considering to go, some are considering West Point, some are considering high colleges. So just your guys' support in local teams is making a big difference. I just want to say thank you.
So tell us why you picked West Point.
Originally, I had an uncle that went to the Air Force Academy, and so I was thinking about that. And then about freshman year, I was thinking about the Naval Academy because I really like boats and water. But then the West Point coach reached out and was saying how they have a really good rugby program. So I kind of ignored it for the first couple of years, but then I started looking into it, and it had all the majors I want, and then also a really good rugby team. I think they're 5th in the country right now, and hoping to be 1st the next year. So that's why I picked that.
So you guys were all student athletes, right?
What gave you that idea?
No, well, student athletes, it really is a full-time job on top of being a student athlete. So we're very impressed with that also. And, you know, she's taken us around the world with her. She goes around the world playing rugby and talks about her great hometown of Wellington. So that's pretty impressive right there. So thank you.
And we hope that all of you will come back and update us on your progress and the great things that you're achieving.
Well, Zach's going to run for the village council in about
2 weeks.
30 years.
30 years.
Right?
Yeah.
So, there we go. Well, I'll be term limited, so we're good.
Well, fortunately, you all have at least 10 years before that's going to happen.
He's going to be a little busy for us, but we hope you do come back. I mean, honestly, all of you, we want you to come back and be a part of this community. We realize that you've got a long way to go, but, you know, and lots of world to see, but we are going to be very proud of being your hometown. And I know you've only been here a couple years from California, but what you brought to Wellington High School was something that shared with the other girls. Like you said, you brought rugby, athletics to this community in a different way that younger girls have looked up to. So the seeds that you've planted on your own have been phenomenal. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to come down. I'm going to give each of you one of these, and you give it to the kids, and we'll do a picture together.
Thanks. Wow, congrats.
Should have gone Air Force.
Congratulations to all of you. Well, congratulations. We're each passing out one.
Thank you.
Zach.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
I think they're all the
Who
same.
didn't get there?
Oh, no, they are all.
They're all the same.
They're all the same.
Because you're here. One.
We all have all of you. So you guys are together in eternity in your heart.
Nice meeting you.
Too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how many days have you had over there at Wellington Aquatics? Too many. Okay.
There we go. 3, 2, 1. Flash. 3, 2, 1.
Competition thing that got if you don't mind, that would be awesome.
We can do it. We can do it again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I got it right behind you.
And for all the others, it's a long way.
Thank you.
Hopefully you guys know it before state. Sort of here for you. You guys all better go to the game, by the way.
Let's take a look.
You have a public comment? Oh, there she is. What's it?
Okay, Mr. Schofield.
All right. The next item on the agenda, folks,
It's
we have...
it's another good thing on the agenda, though.
The next thing on the agenda is a presentation by the Relay for Life, and Miss Lisa Noel is here to give that presentation. Oh, I think we have an alternate presenter. No?
No,
Okay,
we have a
there
team.
we go.
We have a team. Lisa, bring your team up and introduce your whole team.
You can
We
confuse
know
me
our
by getting
team,
people
Cindy,
up early.
So.
I needed moral support.
But you look great, so. I told them 2 weeks you may not be here, so.
I know. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it today. I'm Lisa Noel. I'm the community manager for Relay for Life for the American Cancer Society. And we just came to basically just say thank you for everything that you guys have done for us in the last couple years. And Andrew Ruiz is my right-hand man. He has a little office at the office with me, and he helps me with everything. He's just a volunteer, but he's going to say a couple words as well.
Yeah, good evening, Council, Mayor, Council. Thank you guys for having us. I've been involved with Relay for Life for a long time. This is my second year being a chair of the Relay for Life of Western Palm Beach County. And, you know, cancer truly does affect us all. And I think you guys truly know that through your contributions. When I was 13 years old, I lost my mom to breast cancer, and it is that same drive that continues to perpetuate me to do more with this cause. And really, we couldn't have done it with volunteers like you guys and community partners like you guys. I mean, we're super proud of the Wellington Hometown Heroes because in this last year, you guys helped us raise, your team raised more than $12,000 for the American Cancer Society, and collectively as an event, we raised $135,000 for the American Cancer Society, which is an amazing feat. Last year we got recognized because previously when the events were by themselves, they were raising around 40, which was fantastic. But again, through you guys' partnership and really the people who are giving their time within your staff. And I just wanted to say a couple of people like Jose Sanchez and his public works crew. I mean, they are just so phenomenal. The nicest people, the most accommodating people. Debbie LaQuarrie at the community center, also Joe Piccincelli, which is also with the community center, Rick from the amphitheater, and then of course Cindy Drake, who has just opened up her heart to our event. So